friends, this is Anjali Krishnan, Assistant Professor, PG Department of English, Don Bosco College, Kottayam. The essay Introduction to Orientalism is divided into three parts. The Orient was an European invention. From ancient times, it has been considered to be a place of romances, haunting memories, exotic things, and landscapes as well as remarkable experiences. Unlike many other countries in Europe, France and Britain have a long tradition of Orientalism. The Orient is Europe's oldest and greatest colony, the source of its civilization and language, its cultural variations and the most recurring images of the other. The Orient is not imaginative. It is an intended part of Europe's material civilizational culture. Anyone who teaches, writes, or researches about the Orient, either in its specific or general aspects, is an Orientalist. And what he or she does is Orientalism. An Orientalist can be an anthropologist, socialist, historian, or a philosopher. Orientalism is a style of thought based on the binary division between the Orient and the Occident. The basic distinction between the East and the West is the starting point for elaborate theories, epics, poetry, novels, political accounts, and social tradition, etc., beginning from the late 18th century. So, Orientalism can be discussed as a corporate institution for dealing with the Orient. It can be examined as a discourse, a system of statements within which a world can be known. The world is brought into being through discourse. This approach will help us to understand the systematic dialects by which European culture was able to manage and even produce the Orient politically, socially, ideologically and imaginatively during the post-Enlightenment period. France and Britain dominated the Orient and the Orientalism until the end of World War I, and since World War II, America had dominated the Orient. The second part of the essay. The geographical entities Orient and the Occident are man-made. They support and to an extent reflect each other. However, it will be wrong to conclude that Orient was essentially an idea. The focus of this study is not on the relation between Orientalism and Orient, but on the illusion regarding the concept of Orient developed by Orientalism. So, the relationship between Occident and Orient is a relation of power, domination of varying degrees of a complex hegemony. The fact that Orientalism remained as an unchanged teachable wisdom from late 1840s till to the present reveals that it is a body of theory and practice in which many generations have a considerable material investment. It is a hegemony of the West over the Orient that gives Orientalism the durability and strength. Thus, under the banner of knowledge of the Orient and within the umbrella of Western hegemony over the Orient, there emerged a complex Orient suitable for study in the academy. Part 3. Edward Said mentions about three relations which will act as a solution to explain the complex term Orientalism. First one, distinction between pure and political knowledge. The second one, methodological question. And the third, personal dimension. First one, distinction between pure and political knowledge. True knowledge is considered to be non-political. Or, this general idea indirectly suggests that political knowledge is not true. Knowledge about Wordsworth and John Keats is generally considered as non-political, whereas knowledge on Soviet economics is considered as political. This may be because field of knowledge like economics, politics and sociology have those political implications, whereas poetry does not have direct impact upon political institution. But it is true that the individual scholar who produces knowledge is never impartial because he has a subjective mind to follow. He is never objective, always political. Every individual, including the scholar, is conditioned by class, social system and the belief system he is attached. Even if he attains relative freedom from such inhibitions, the knowledge he produces cannot be fully liberated. So one will have to prove that knowledge is not automatically non-political. It is always political. When one applies this idea to the knowledge about India and Egypt, somehow it links an interest or violates the political fact. Thus, European or American scholarship on Orient always remain political. Orientalism is a considerable dimension of modern political and intellectual culture. It is a cultural and political fact. It is true that every 19th century writer, including Arnold Ruskin, Dickens, have definite views on race and imperialism, evident from their novels and works. Therefore, Orientalism can be seen as a dynamic exchange between individual authors and his large political concerns shaped by the three empires: Britain, France and America. Second one, methodological question. The starting point of this study has been British, French and American experience of the Orient. But the study was further limited to the Anglo-French experience of the Arab and Islam, eliminating Indian, Japan, China and other sections of the East. There is something called intellectual authority over the Orient upon Western culture. The methodological devices used to study intellectual authority are, first one, strategic location, and the second one, strategic formation. Let's see what is strategic location. Strategic location is a way of describing the author's position in the text with regard to the Oriental material world. Next one, strategic formation. It is a way of analyzing the relationship between the text and the way in which groups of text require referential power in the culture, how it gain acceptance and credibility in the culture. So the concentration of the study is not on what is hidden in the text, but an analysis of the text itself. This study tries to show the field's internal organizations and how it borrows strong ideas and doctrines, trends, etc. ruling the culture. It addresses several Orients. For students of the Orient, the study represents the intellectual genealogy of the Orient. For readers in the Third World, it illustrates the formidable structure of cultural domination and reveals the dangers and temptations of employing this structure, this hegemonic structure, upon themselves or others. Third one, personal dimension. Said's awareness of being an Oriental, his education in two British colonies, Palestine and Egypt, and later in the US, had contributed in different ways to his study. The Orient has undergone standardization and cultural stereotyping. This has intensified the image of the mysterious Orient. Most often, literature and culture are considered to be politically innocent. But in Said's view, society and literary culture, they are not.